Coming at you from Kaji Vision Podcast Studios in Stamford, Connecticut. Welcome to episode 13 of the Dialed In Podcast.
I got to work on my signals.
I agree.
I just don't feel confident with my signals.
Hey, you're sitting next to the right guy who might be able to help you with that.
I just don't feel good with it.
For this episode, I wanted to stand on business, meaning like literally stand up and do the episode, rather than sit on our asses. But we're sitting down, I guess. It's the late game audible.
You know what it is?
Mark.
It's not clocking to me. It's
not clocking to you that I wanted to stand on business. Yo, the episode is supposed to start at 12 o'clock. You're texting me at 12:01 saying you don't want to stand up anymore. But I'm over it now.
It's just crazy, like 10 minutes late and calling shots.
I know. Confident, too, with those shots, too. Like chucking.
You know what it was? I knew I had the gear on.
Yeah. Mark is wearing a Crown Rest gear, so he knew he could basically do anything prior to walking in the studio, and I was just going to instantly accept him.
The fabric is just, you just put it on, and you just feel like you're seizing the day with this cloth.
You're cut from a different cloth. Hey, I'm happy we're even here. I'm happy we were able to confirm the episode. Claudio, just to let you know, I know we had to confirm this like 4 times. I had to go through triple confirmation with Mark's clients to make sure that they weren't confirmed with Mark so we can confirm this episode.
Sometimes it's like that.
I made Aisha.
I would like to have a heart rate monitor on Claudio when we're scheduling with him. I would like to see that. I would like to see that. Definitely see a few zone 4, zone 5 spikes.
Speaking of zone 4 and zone 5 spikes, I'm trying to optimize my cardio and be more intentional with some max rate cardio. Mm-hmm. So I want to.
Well, you feel like you haven't done much of
that? I've kind of laid low on the cardio training, I think, and I want to just incorporate it into like the end of my workouts, so maybe 3 days a week where. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to do like a half hour of it. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Max out on the, what's the power bike called again?
Wind bike. The assault bike. Wind bike.
Assault bike, yeah. Or the rowing machine
That thing's outstanding. Yeah, torch everyone on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep like your sets going, you don't rest with how you work out, like you'll hit it a little bit, but when you kind of like put a heart rate monitor on and pay attention to the heart rate, you're really able to like polish the zone 4, zone 5, like max heart rate stuff. It's good to do that like 2 times a week. Yeah,
I can go like as hard as I can for 10 seconds, and then it's just hit the wall.
Yeah. I see that little bit with you. You know, when you're doing the lizard crawls long. Yeah. Just like when I see what you're capable of doing elsewhere, and then I see that, it just shows like you're a little flaw in there with high heart rate stuff.
It's funny you wanted me to do the lizard crawls all the way down the mat. It's a far distance.
Yeah, it's far.
And I can't do it all the way down. Yeah. It takes me like 5 times. So I was just like, that's a par 5 for me.
Yeah.
This is a par 5.
Par 5. That's a good idea. I should label exercises based on how hard they are by the par.
Fitness golf.
Yeah. Fitness golf. It's a good idea.
Thank you.
What do we got today?
I just want to rehash yesterday's workout. I got to see you at the gym yesterday. Mm-hmm. Feel like me and you were kind of long overdue for having just a 1-to-1 session. Yeah. This is where this relationship started, and we've kind of evolved on our journey, but we don't go too far away from each other. We're right back. But yesterday was a great back workout. Just want to highlight some of the exercises we did. First exercise we did was me just on the rope, but what position was I in? I had my feet against the box.
So kind of in like a little bit of a glute bridge.
Glute bridge.
Yeah, and then you're pulling on the rope. There's nothing like pulling with the rope.
Can we call that the cliffhanger?
Yeah, sure.
That was fire.
That's organic strength. There's nothing like using rope or rock climbing in terms of upper body and like what it's requiring you to do. So I just think you kind of like needed that a little bit, because you've just been doing a lot of really good repetition with everything, polishing everything, but that stuff is like a complete integrated shock. That's kind of like what rock climbing was for me with upper body strength. You need like that random, just using everything like, really gripping. Yeah. That's totally different than just like using a bar or grabbing weights.
And that's the hardest part is the hands.
Yeah.
My hands are burning.
Yeah.
Felt like it was like my fingers were the most impacted by that move.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the
Nasty stuff.
That's the roughest part to adjust to. Like when I started rock climbing, that first 2 months, month and a half on my hands was just rough. And now, I don't feel much.
And we did the monkey bars. You made it look so easy the way you were going back and forth and kind of rotating and swinging on the bars.
Yep.
I'm not as fluid as you, but I was still happy with my monkey bar performance. And then we did like the back thrust, medicine ball. Is that safe to call those? What's the name of that move?
Yeah, I was just trying to get you to explode a little bit, but keep the pull focus of what you were doing. So I was asking you just to really explosively kind of like squat up and throw the ball behind you. Just keep your heart rate up.
I'd never done anything where I'm throwing something behind me, so that was a whole new motion.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to really incorporate my hips, legs, because it could really torque your back up if you're doing it wrong.
You're basically just trying to keep the posterior component of how you were working out yesterday, so that's why I did that. Yeah.
I've been meditating lately. I just want to give a quick tip on how to push deeper into your set and get some extra reps, like when you feel like you're maxed out. Because I know we talk about that's where the gains really come, when you're hitting the end range or you're maxing out like on the last couple reps. So as I was doing the skin the cat, and my hands were on fire, but the rest of my body was fine. And I was on like the 4th or 5th rep, and I'm like, let me take what I've learned from meditation, where like it's all about being present in the moment and like feeling your body and feeling different parts of your body, from your breath to your heart. So I just took that concept and I said, let me not focus on how bad my hands feel. Let me focus on how good my calves feel at this moment, or my knee or my hip. Like I have a lot of stamina left in my hip. Not that I'm using my hip for this movement, but for the 2 seconds or the 5 seconds it lasted and I focused on my hip, I forgot about how my hands felt, and I was able to get 2 to 3 more reps. It was kind of like it's not, I was thinking of it at the time like, oh, this is a joke, something funny thing to share on the podcast, but it actually helped me out there.
Yeah, it helps when you're sometimes taking your gaze off of what you're too hyper focused on. I see it a lot with young athletes when they're just like they're just anxious about like certain things, like what they're doing, and it like affects their performance a lot. Yeah, you would say you would use that as meditating though. You would say that's meditating.
Well, it's just a transferable skill because I've recently been meditating and just hearing like the guided meditation on feeling your heart, feeling your breath, and going through the different centers of the body. It just made me just think about like what's available versus what is not available. It's just
we got to go rock climbing.
Yeah, just go to Breakneck Mountain in Cold Spring.
Yeah, that's like a nice steep hike. I want you to.
They got some.
You got to get put on the rope and go up. There's nothing more present than doing that. You don't have a choice. There's no choice but to be like present with what you're doing and paying attention to every little thing, because you're like, if you're not, like you're just not thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about how cold is the room, how warm is the room, what's the weather going to be like this weekend, what am I doing this weekend? You are just completely zoned in on that moment, because you're like, oh, if I get tired or I miss, I'm going to fall. And I don't really want to fall even though I'm tied up to the rope. Yeah, it's good. It teaches you how to like focus on that stuff you were just talking about while you were doing like skin the cat.
Yeah. Another move we did yesterday where you just sit on the ground and you grab the rope and your legs are in a leg lift position.
Yeah, that's tough.
What's that called?
It's like you're pulling through an L-sit.
L-sit. Wow. That's a hard move to do. Yeah. I'm not going to say I attempted that move like 5 years ago, but I sat in the position think about to attempt it.
Yeah.
No, like I didn't. There was no progress.
Yeah, like you just pulled and you're like, that's not happening.
No chance.
Yeah. No, you've been doing a lot. I mean, the past year at getting towards things like that. That's a really good. Those things I made you do yesterday. Those are all things that will show you, as much as you're working on all these like isolated movements. It's like when I actually throw you into something where your whole body is required to be one, you're gonna see the flaw in your system. It's like, it's kind of like taking a bodybuilder who, they're constantly working on these very isolated movements to like mold themselves. But then if I were to ask them to do things like that, where your body's fully integrated as one, like your joint has to work when you're swinging on the bar, or, you have to have good finger and grip strength to hold on to the rope. And then while you're in a glute bridge, ask your spine to stay in extension while using your lats. That shows me, how integrated and how smooth you can do that stuff. So it's good to do that stuff because it kind of just like wakes you up. Because you can feel outstanding with all that other stuff. And then it's like you get on. I did it with someone today. They've been doing really, really, really well with everything. But I just haven't had, access to the stuff I made you do yesterday. And I made them do that stuff today. And, it's like, oh, well, I can hang really well. And I can do chin-ups really well. Why can't I use these monkey bars really well? It just like wakes you up to see that you need things like that, and that's what rock climbing is to me. It just like shows you, you can do as many perfect chin-ups as you want. It doesn't mean that you can rock climb randomly and move and use your fingertips too and like your core to like balance and stabilize. Yeah. So it's good doing that stuff. That's why kids develop. We talked about this because they don't do chin-ups and squats. Where do they go to exercise? They go to the park, and they're moving around randomly. But, as time goes on, they get away from that because they're like, no, you got to go to the gym, you got to play this one sport, and then they fall away from those random, full-body, like, integrated patterns. That's why it's good doing that stuff. It wakes you up.
Yeah. Another great move we did yesterday was the one-arm plank holds, and call these, like, half circles, kettlebell half circles. So I'm in a one-arm plank, one-arm push-up position, and then curling the kettlebell.
Yep.
So I'm working the chest, shoulders, back, all in one.
Yeah, it's a lot of multitasking. I make the fighter I work with do that. I make him do that because I want him to be balancing his core. So because he's on one hand and two legs, once you take a hand off, like your body's trying to like stabilize for you. So I need him to learn how to stabilize, but being in a position that maybe he'll be in during a fight, which would be like on his hands. Maybe the guy's like pulling on his back and he's trying to like take him down to the ground and he's trying to get up, but maybe the guy's pulling his arm off of him. So he's only on one hand and he has to hold himself up and not get taken down. So I just added in the kettlebell to add some strength into it where his body's moving randomly in a full circle on his right arm or left arm.
Shout out your boy. You have a big event coming up, the Contender Series.
I don't. He does.
Yeah, but it's part of,
Yeah, no, that's... Yep.
It's like it's almost like you're fighting.
August 12th. Nah, it's not. I've said that like in my head, but I'm like, yeah, you can't say that when someone's about to get in there.
No, but the implications of him getting signed to
I'm
the
not
UFC,
I'm not taking any damage. You know what I mean? It's just crazy to me. That's the hardest working individual I've ever seen. It I can't even grasp what he can tolerate. It's unbelievable.
I've seen some video clips of his intense max rate cardio.
Yeah, you just don't...
Great lengths.
You just can't even comprehend it. You see it in person. It's just the most insane thing I've ever seen. And I've learned about this stuff. I've seen what high level athletes can do, and obviously there's those 5-10 athletes in the world over the course of 80 years where you can pick them out and be like, that woman is a freak of nature. Mm-hmm. I've never seen someone handle physical stress and keep going the way this person can. It's very, very inspiring. But yeah, August 12th.
What's his name again?
Jimmy Drago. August 12th. He'll be on Dana White's Contender Series. Tune in, 8 p.m.
You'll be in attendance.
Yeah, I'll be checking it out. Yeah.
Vegas, right?
Yeah. I'll be checking it out. I'm just nervous to go and watch. Yeah. You just see, when you see how much passion someone's putting into this one thing, and that it's just not he's not getting graded on how many views does this get and what's the grade going to be based on my performance. It's so beyond that. It's so primal and organic what he's doing to just see how hard this person is working and to know that he's going to go in there and literally put his body maximally on the line. It's just, it's super intense feeling.
We're all pulling for him.
Yeah.
I'm pulling. It's a big spot, so
Yeah.
I hope it works out. I hope he gets the win. Hope he gets the contract. Deserves it from what I've seen.
I was telling someone the other day, someone was saying to me, yeah, the UFC is in a little bit of, they're trying to find like that star, like that spark. They don't have, there's just guys that are on their way out right now, and women. We're in there's like a transition phase of like, all right, who's the next star? Who's the next star? Who's the next star? And I was telling my brother the other day, I'm like, his name's Jimmy Drago. Tune in on August 12th. No, like seriously, like when he goes in there, he's taking your head off.
Can he come out to Rocky music?
He comes out to, because he's from Yonkers, he comes out to DMX.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But
DMX,
that would be kind of ironic
DMX.
if he walked out to Rocky
Oh,
music.
yeah, of course. Yeah. It's DMX only. Yonkers. Yeah. That's right.
Legend.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about where I am on my nutrition journey. I know I said I've been trying to really educate myself on just improving my nutritional intelligence. Right? We're doing a health and wellness podcast. I've made health number one in my life, so I'm just down the journey. But I want to, I guess, improve in this area. I want to be able to identify a food and then immediately know like the macronutrient breakdown, which I'm pretty good at already. Like that's the basic of it. I know if I have chicken, it's got pretty much 20 grams of protein. It's, not much fat, not much carbs. So that's step 2. The step 3 is then knowing its micronutrient highlights. So I want to be able to know the vitamins and the minerals that are in this food as well. Also the additional nutritional compounds like antioxidants, polyphenols. And then also from there, okay, what does that do to my body? What are the benefits? Does it provide brain cognitive function, immune support? What does it prevent? Does it prevent disease? So I just think improving that area is going to give me a better understanding about macronutrients, micronutrients. So for example, like for an egg, well, macronutrients, 6 grams of protein, healthy fats, omega-3s, not much carbs. The micronutrients. Do you know the micronutrients in an egg?
No.
Okay, so we got to improve. Vitamins A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B12, choline. All right, minerals, selenium, iron, phosphorus. Like I want to know this. I want this to be at my disposal. What are the nutritional compounds of an egg? It's got lutein. It's got choline, what is choline? It's great for brain development, cognitive function. What are some of the body benefits of eggs? Well, improves your hormone production, eye health, muscle recovery. So this is just the route I want to go down. I just mentioned egg. There's 100, 200 other foods to know, but that's kind of
eggs is a good one. It's just super nutrient dense.
Yeah.
And it's just like one of those like things I feel like that is a ritual to like. I mean, it's been a ritual for me. I think since the beginning of time for me, it's just something that I don't know what it is. It's just like when I'm in the morning, like I want eggs. Like there's nothing you can. It's almost like I don't even care what time it is. Like in some world, if I were to wake up late at 11 or 12 o'clock, I would still want the first thing I eat to be eggs. I love eggs.
There's nothing else. What else would you start your day with besides? That's the main event.
It's just so funny. It's just like odd. Like I work with people with nutrition coaching, and just sometimes it's just funny if we're focusing on like, hey, we want to like get a good start and get new protein in the morning, right? And then sometimes people will be like, I'm just tired of having eggs.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, all right, yeah, have chicken, ground chicken, beef, ground beef. And it's just funny how if you say that everyone's just like, I'm going to have chicken in the morning, or, you know what I mean? It's just funny how we have these things in our culture that, no, this is what you have to have for breakfast. You know what I mean? But for me, I want to have eggs for breakfast. Yeah.
To your point, I did wake up late one time and met my dad at a diner. It was like 11:30, and I started the day with a grilled chicken Caesar salad. Yeah. And I walked out of there saying, I'm never having chicken as my first meal again.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just me. I'm not like, I don't want chicken in the morning. I do like having, like, if I make eggs and I want to switch it up a little bit more, then I throw in ground beef. That's what I like. Yeah.
Oh, bro, we have to talk about my new creatine dosage because I am in full juice head mode.
Yeah.
I feel incredible. So I've upped my dosage from 5 milligrams, which we've historically always been told that's the common standard. For years, never anybody saying you should have more than that. But I'm starting to get, inclinations, my intuition. I'm starting to hear more about increased dosage. There's been studies on up to 20 grams. So I've been taking 10 grams a day, and I just feel like I felt it right away. Like in the gym, I was doing lunges, and just the flex, the pump, the intensity, the focus. I feel a significant difference 3 days into 10 milligrams of creatine.
Yeah, I just think it all, it's going to help you retain a lot of water, but plasma in your blood, which helps transport carbohydrates, which is going to help get carbohydrates to different parts of your muscle and stuff like that. But I think it depends on, like, I'm not going to tell someone who only works out 2 times a week, doesn't really do a high intensity workout. I'm not going to tell them like, hit 10 and 15 grams of creatine. Right. Maybe for the cognitive benefit, just because like this is the issue today. Like we're just like so brain stimulated today that's where you're seeing is such the big benefit with creatine and cognitive activity. You're seeing it like students. You're seeing it in people who like work at a desk a lot all day because they're just staring at a computer and they're like crunching numbers and right. So it helps a lot with that stuff. But I think with you or other people who work out like that, the more frequent you work out, the more frequent you need to use power and hard intensity, the more room I think you have to intake more of creatine because it's really just using, in terms of physical activity, that first 15 seconds of hard, strenuous, like power. Really, that's really what you're using it for. Yeah.
I have a feeling that dosage is going to continue to increase too over time. Yeah. Just have this feeling.
Yeah, I gotta dig into it more. There was just always a stigma with creatine because it soaks in, like it wants water, so it just pulls it really, really like fast. Now, if you're doing that and you're not hydrated, even if you are, maybe you're hydrated from 1 to 3 p.m., but like you're not doing a good job at getting hydrated early in the morning, or you're eating a really, really, really high sodium meal before bed, and then so the bad stigma that came with creatine is just that it pulls so much water so that it stresses your kidneys out because it's dehydrating you more. I've seen that kind of like debunked a little bit. But there'll always be like kind of that argument about it. But it's just funny, like for years, and we've talked about this. Like think about the word you used before you were about to get into it. You said the word juice head.
I did.
Like I remember getting into an argument with someone. I told about like with this like Navy SEAL guy because I was speaking on a fighter who got diverticulitis, and I said something ignorant. I was 18 years old. I didn't know about this stuff. I'm like, yeah, it was probably because he was taking creatine his whole career. Because I was associating creatine as like an anabolic steroid at the time. Like that's kind of the stigma that was with it. I remember taking it for the first time in high school and literally almost feeling like when I was in the gym, like, am I taking performance enhancing drugs? Like that's literally how I felt. Yeah. So
you were mad ignorant as an 18-year-old.
Oh, it's crazy. Like when I think about like working out and just like my thought process, and it's crazy.
I was just joking around with you, but
no, it's just like I really like when I think back, I'm glad that I can see those differences because I train a lot of young kids, and I love giving them that perspective on stuff. And like I had another kid the other day. He's beating himself up. He just beats himself up with stuff, and I'm like, dude, not for nothing. I'm like, you're 16. I was like, I really didn't start like getting into this stuff, like paying attention to it the right way. I'm not talking about going to Gold's Gym and doing bicep curls and working out. Like I'm talking about really knowing how to work your body out. I didn't start doing that until I was about 20 years old. Like really at a high level. I'm like, you're 16 and you're working with me. Like you are so far ahead of the game, you have no idea. Like you know how to eat. Like this kid knows how to eat. Like he knows exactly when he's staring at a dish, why he's eating, what he's eating. He knows how, if he wants to gain weight, if he wants to lose weight, if he's dehydrated, if he's eating too much carbs, too little carbs, too much protein, too little. Like I'm like, you are so far ahead of the game and understanding what you need for your health. It's amazing to see. So I love giving that stuff that I was ignorant about growing up.
I want to give a shout out to a underappreciated food ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
It is the pea. I feel like peas don't get any credit. I haven't ate too many meals of peas in my life prior to the last 2 months where I've started to incorporate.
I used to hate them.
Me too. I thought it was like corn's evil cousin.
Yeah, I used to just be like, why? I don't want to. Now I kind of like, I add them a lot into when I make rice. It just, I don't know, just adds like a nice little flavor into it. And then I get like a really good like Parmesan Reggiano and I'll put it in the rice with the peas and it's outstanding.
Bro, this one package of frozen peas, it's got more protein than we imagine because we look at veggies and we're like, oh, it's got 0 grams.
Yeah.
Peas got to be one of the highest protein counts of veggies.
A lot of the vegan supplements are using pea protein. Yeah.
A lot of fiber as well.
Yeah.
So it really does pack a punch.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give peas a little bit of shout out. It's also got vitamins A, K, C, and several B vitamins. Also, I want to give a shout out to chia seeds. I was putting these in my shake yesterday, just looking at the back of the product, and just incredible macros from the protein to the carbs to the fats to the fiber. I think it's an all-star.
Yeah. Yeah, chia seed, flaxseed. They're the goats. Yeah.
I put hemp hearts and basil seeds too, which is a new food I had never heard of, but it's very similar to chia seeds, very high protein and fiber count. So I have a pack of...
What do you eat the chia seeds with?
My shake.
Shake?
Yeah, so I'll dump in 3 tablespoons of this seed mix. I'll pour 4 bags of separate seeds into one, so this way I could just have them all in one. I don't have to go through 4 separate bags. Nico loves it too. I give him a spoonful of the seeds. We like to have a spoonful before we pop it in the shake. So,
how are other kids? Are they absorbing the stuff you eat?
They're starting to.
Yeah.
They are. It's starting to become part of the natural fabric of our daily life.
Yep.
I have to give my wife a shout out too because she just bought organic Cheerios. So Cheerios, I've had an issue with Cheerios. My daughters love them. It's been her favorite food. So she brought a pretty simple organic, Good and Gather's the company. Forget which.
Dude, it's funny. There's like so many. Like, you just gotta like look for them.
You gotta do the work.
There's so many cereals that like I got one the other day, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I love cinnamon. Like I love cinnamon sugar, like that flavor. In a perfect world, I would love a cinnamon roll, but I'm like, or cinnamon toast crunch. That was like my favorite thing growing up. So I just look for that, but in the cleanest way. You just gotta. It takes a few attempts every now and then. Like I'll grab one and I'm like, oh, that looks good, and then I look and I'm like, it's not. There's something in it. But I gotta find the one. It's like as clean as it gets. It's pretty plain.
Cinnamon toast crunch, right?
It's
clean
basically
version.
It's basically that.
We got that.
And you know, like it's clean because once you put like the milk with it, like you get like that taste just for a little bit, and then it just tastes like the cereal itself. Like it's not just like sticking on. Comparing the difference is crazy.
Yeah,
it's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
But they're out there. There's a whole bunch like that. There's peanut butter ones that tastes like the Reese's peanut butter cup cereal or peanut butter cups. They're there. Yeah.
So we went from 37 ingredients in the Cheerios to down to 8, and these are all organic ingredients. The only one I wasn't too sure about was tocopherols.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it's hard to pronounce, so I'm thinking it's synthetic. But
I can't give an opinion on the good and bad on it.
Sorry to interrupt the podcast. Just wanted to thank you for being here and joining us on this journey. The fact that you're here shows your commitment to your own transformation, and that's something you should celebrate. We're here to help you every step of the way, and we want to hear from you. So if you have questions or thoughts or breakthroughs that you want to share, reach out to us directly at thedialedinpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on any one of your socials. Now, let's get back to the podcast.
Also, I started getting dark chocolate. Started adding that to my daily routine.
Dark chocolate's great.
So as I was hold on.
Just got to get a good one, though. You got any chocolate? I'm fasted right now. I could go for some dark chocolate.
Bam!
Oh.
So I went to Organic Market, what we were talking about, and I wanted to get a clean chocolate. Now, they have a very big aisle of chocolate bars. I had to sift through every single one because I'm not looking for any extra ingredients. I just want cacao, pretty much, and I want dark chocolate. Yeah. I want 100% cacao.
Yeah, that would be 100%.
So they were going 50%, 70%, 100%. Look through a couple other options. It's got added sugar, which we don't want. No. So anyway, Alter Echo, 100% cacao, total blackout.
Yeah.
So it's very bitter.
Yeah.
You know, but I like dark coffee, so I kind of like I used to like IPAs, so not anymore. But
if you just keep eating it, you just start to acclimate to it. You just have to get away from the comparison of having cacao or chocolate with, rather than it be 100%, it'll be 75%. And they're just adding milk and sugar to it. You know what I mean? But once you kind of just acclimate to it, I feel like you don't get caught up in like, oh, this doesn't taste as sweet anymore. And you start kind of just like appreciating, what it tastes like. Like how much sugar is in it?
I told you I'm not getting no added sugar.
No, not added sugar. How much sugar is in it?
0.
Oh, great. Cool. Yeah, perfect.
0.
Look at that. Look at that. Just straight protein and fat.
The human body does not need any sugar to function and to thrive.
When I went to Costa Rica, they showed me how they grow coffee beans, how they make sugar, and how they do chocolate, cacao, because they're just literally growing everything right in front of your face. Like you're literally in like a jungle. Like you can't see anything. You feel like you're in the woods and there's a little cabin.
Sure.
And they're showing you how they make this stuff. When I tried the coffee there, we're not drinking coffee over here. That's one. Two, like it just tastes like pure juice. That's what it tastes like, dark juice. That's what it tastes like. No acidity to it, nothing. And then they explained the whole chocolate, that you're eating cacao, the more watered down it gets with the milk chocolate. It's like you're just adding milk, dairy to it and sugar. Dude, they gave me the cacao there. I watched them do it right in front of me. It's insane. Like I don't know what we're eating over here. I just want to like really know, like from front to back, what's going in this stuff. Like even whatever it says on the ingredients, I just want to see how it's done because I watched them do it right in front of my face. It's like I never ate real chocolate before. Yeah. It was insane. Yeah.
So as I brought the chocolate home, I gave it to my daughter. She almost spit it out due to how bitter it was. Then my wife was like, "Oh, this is bitter. Most people don't get 100% dark chocolate. We don't cook with that because of its bitterness." And then right there, I was like, "Yes, this is my facts over flavor moment."
Yeah.
You're talking about flavor. I'm talking about nutrition facts. So I know dark chocolate is going to be rich in antioxidants, support heart health, cognitive function boost. So I'm choosing the bitter flavor, but the more nutrient-dense food versus the flavor.
So I'll do it, like, especially for the kids. Like, if the kids are like, because listen, they're young. We talked about this. They burn twice the amount of calories as you and me are burning per pound of body weight. Like, their brain wants sugar and carbs.
Right.
So, like, what I do is what I'm saying is normally when you eat a chocolate bar that you shouldn't be eating, what's in it? There's sugar in it. So it gives you that signal in your brain, like, yeah, this is like what I want. So they're getting the signal of, something's missing from it. I'm only tasting fat, and it's the bitterness, right? And they want that sugar in there. Dude, it's a huge difference that they're eating a bar without added sugar, but just trick their brain into giving that response. So like what I do is I do Greek yogurt, strawberry, cacao, like that. I usually get the 100% cacao nibs because I like the crunch. They're harder. Or just break that up and put it in there. And just by it being combined with a fruit that has sugar in it or maybe a tiny bit of like raw honey, like really good honey, it adds the sugar into you combining it with that bar, and it now tastes like a chocolate bar. It tastes like the sweet chocolate bar that you want. So that's what I do, and it just like tricks me and makes me feel like I'm having like a nice sweet chocolate bar, but it's really just because of the honey, the sugar from the honey is combined with it.
Nice hack.
I just try to do things where sometimes I just feel like I'm feeding that craving of like what I want sometimes, and I try to tell that to people. I'm like, when you feel like you have, I know you think you're special and you have a sweet tooth. Everyone has a sweet tooth. It's just your brain wants some sugar fuel, and normally your habit is, I want ice cream, I want cinnamon rolls, I want a Hershey bar, I want a Reese's, right? When you have that craving, just give the craving what it wants, which is a little bit of sugar, but just don't make it that stuff, and give it something sweet like pineapple, an apple, and the sweeter you obviously make it, that's why I add the honey into the yogurt. It hits that craving that you want.
Yep.
And then wait 5-10 minutes and it goes right away.
Speaking of eliminating added sugar, I changed my protein up because I was getting the naked vanilla and the naked chocolate. They have 3 ingredients.
Yeah, vanilla's got the hidden natural flavor in there.
Well, how did I miss that?
I know.
How did you know I was going to bring that up?
The chocolate, because I've did this with someone. By default, when I tell people to get naked.
By the way, in refereeing, that's called a missed call.
Yeah.
It's a missed call.
That's a missed call.
Right in front of me.
By default, when I tell people I'm like, get naked way, I'm getting people that are very new. So I don't want to stress them out with too many things. So I've already made progress with them, the fact that they're now buying this cleaner protein. So I don't push too much with get unflavored, right? I don't want them doing something right away where immediately they're not mentally ready. I don't want them doing something right away where they're drinking something and they have this negative response of like, this is disgusting, I don't want to drink this. So if they want vanilla or they want chocolate, I just don't add too much friction. I read the person too. Some people I can give friction with and some people I can't. So by default, I'm just normally like, because I know it's clean, I just go with the chocolate. I had someone that I thought got chocolate and he got vanilla, and then I'm just ranting and raving about how clean it is. And he's like, yeah, but he's like, it is clean, but he's like, oh yeah, my vanilla, it has natural flavor in it. And I just glossed over it just because I always get chocolate and I've gotten unflavored before. So I'm just like, I'm assuming the one other flavor that they have.
And they were boasting like, 3 premium ingredients. So they did it like a nice job of blindsiding us.
The big issue is that a lot of people who just make products in general think that natural flavor, there's nothing wrong.
Correct.
Well, it's not the end of the world in that scoop that you're getting, but those people, they just don't, they're just not educated in understanding that. Bro, you go, if we ask 1,000 people, is this clean and it has 3 ingredients, and they read natural flavors, I would say 99.9% of people, even professional people, would just be like, oh yeah, it's natural flavor, that's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We glance over it.
Yeah.
Also, it's the vanilla had 3 grams of added coconut sugar. So I'm taking 5 scoops a day. I'm doing the math. Why am I adding 15 grams extra of added sugar? I said, we got to go just the plain 1 ingredient. And you know what I did to it? I bought organic coconut or cacao powder from Trader Joe's, and I literally dumped it in the bottle and mixed it up.
Yep. Perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you, it's just crazy. Once you stick with that protein and ever have anything else, it's just like night and day. Like you just like know, like whatever else is it that you're having, it's just filled with so much stuff.
A couple other protein bars I found, some clean protein bars. I know we were searching for them. Happy Wolf is a kid's bar. It's more of a granola bar, but it covers the granola slash protein bar vibe. Also, the Lara bar, which is a chocolate bar, but it's a clean chocolate bar. It's got like 4 ingredients, nothing dirty in there. I was impressed, so I've been enjoying Lara bars. So check out Lara bar. 4 new clean protein bars I found. Prima. Prima, grass-fed protein, all clean ingredients. Same thing with Jacob. Jacob protein bar.
Jacob I've heard of.
Transparent Labs.
That one's clean?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought I looked and it wasn't.
I looked this morning. It had 8 ingredients: grass-fed, whey isolate, organic, vanilla. I mean, we could pull it up here, but it passed my initial check. You can double check me. And then a bar called Just Ingredients. You'll find these bars are more expensive, but hey, you either pay for wellness or you pay for illness.
The RX bar is clean, no?
What does it have?
Forgot.
Natural flavors.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned on this show the RX bar is is clean.
A lot of these things, they were, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just imagining this. That at one point they didn't have that in there. And maybe just as they've gotten like bigger, I have no idea. They changed it. I don't know. But I used to go with that, but I just hated the taste and texture of that one. It was just, I just felt like, and I have a little bit of an allergy with things with, anything that has, nut, date, almond, and I get a little, itchy. So I stopped using it.
Protein bars also kind of go into the snack category too, and I haven't been snacking much, so it's just
I've just
less of a
so
need.
like distant from it that I just don't. Me personally, I just don't like crave, connect with it anymore. I just don't ever consider getting them anymore. I used to when I was younger, when I played basketball and everything. I always used to grab them, but I was grabbing the worst stuff.
Yeah,
the bodybuilding bar.
Sure.
Yeah.
I go more meat stick as my protein bar.
That's
now.
how I am. I rather like eat a meat stick and then just eat like a little something else with like something like with a fat and a carb to just mimic what I'd be getting out of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going out, like if you're on the road or you're at an event and you have to bring processed food, like clean processed food, then a good protein bar would be good. Like I was at camps this past a couple weekends ago. I was out in Wisconsin. I actually fasted the entire time because I couldn't find any high quality food. And that's the other great part about having that fasting skill or that muscle is if you don't get the food that you want to put in your body, you could just withhold from it. And so I went 63 hours. That was my longest fast.
How was it?
Amazing.
Crazy.
Amazing, yeah. Towards the end, though, when I broke fast, I just got really tired. I chilled on the couch.
You mean when you ate?
Yeah, again. Once I ate, I was shocked.
Well, it's just inevitable. Your hormones are just you've had no response from eating and getting the hormone going, like insulin, leptin, glucagon. So any sort of calorie in there where blood sugar is going up, and it's going to go up whether you have protein or carbs, doesn't matter. That initial shock of that hormone going off, boom, insulin goes off and just slams. It just hasn't been used in a while. That's why. Yeah. It's
almost weird putting food in your mouth after a long fast. Maybe times you went away on vacation, you didn't drive for like a week, and then you get in the car for after a week, you're like, oh. It was kind of like that with food.
Yeah.
It was interesting being so far removed from it.
It's a good indicator that you felt that slammed from that first meal because that shows me that your insulin was not constantly going up while you were fasting, which is how you get to burning fat.
Yeah.
If your insulin keeps going off, it's going to be pretty tough for you to stay in a fat burning zone. So that happens with people that even when they like are fasting 16 hours, like, oh, I fasted. Like some people just are not in that state where their insulin is staying low and their body's just like making it go up to try to, fix things. And that will stop them from burning fat. So that's good that happened. It just shows me that your body was doing what it needed to do while you were fasting.
The level of purity and clarity and just this clean feeling that you get from going that many hours without food is amazing.
Yeah, I think it just teaches you, because normally when you're not fasting, you're just like, whether it's every 2.5 hours or whether it's every 4.5 hours or whether it's every 6.5 hours, you are giving your body calories, meaning you're giving your blood energy, right? You're doing that for it. It's never really having to, for an extended period of time, go into the basement and say, what energy do I have down here? So the longer you go in that fast, your body's like, I've been doing this for 6 hours. Now I've been doing it for 12 hours. Now I've been doing it for 24 hours. It's like updating how well it could do that. And I think that's where that focus starts like kicking in. I just feel like you feel your body getting its own energy out, opposed to you giving it 400 calorie meal and then you burn it off and then you start like coming down.
Right.
Because your body's like, oh, well, you constantly feed me. So, hey, it's been 5 hours. Are we going to eat another meal now? Like, what's going on here? Because I don't really want to go in the basement and grab that fuel that's stored like on my calf or my butt or, on my belly fat. So I think that's where that hyper focus comes from.
I love getting people motivated to want to fast, especially many that have just never imagined that they could do so. So I want to share a quick story of the world's longest documented fast. You ever heard of it?
No.
Wow. So how many days do you think is the world's longest fast?
Isn't it like, it's like, isn't it like 60 days or no, 30 days?
Nah, bro,
days?
you're coming in light.
Coming in light?
You're coming in super
We're
light.
talking like half a year here?
You're still coming in light.
What?
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah.
But what? Like,
You want the
Liquid,
deets? You want the deets? So the world's longest documented fast was Angus Barberi, who's from Scotland. His name is irrelevant, okay, but his duration was 382 days, bro. So he came in at a starting weight, and you could look this up, of 456 pounds. So morbidly obese.
Okay, this makes sense then.
His ending weight was 180 pounds. He lost 276 pounds in those 382 days. Now, this was done under medical supervision. It was at a hospital. So what did he consume during the fast? Just water, tea, black coffee, occasional electrolytes, and vitamins.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's perfect.
He maintained normal energy levels, maintained healthy blood tests, came out of it much healthier. But it's just like, wow, you can't go 3 hours without eating, without complaining that you're hungry. This man just went 382 days. How dare you?
It just comes down to, it's important that what you said. I was waiting. That's why I was like, give me the details.
Sure.
The more extra you have of stuff, the more you can do that and ask your body, hey, like, burn this off for me. I have, 50, 100, 150 pounds of fat that I could use for fuel, right? We're just so comfortable, dude. Like the other day, something happened with my HVAC, and I had to fix it. So AC off, right? And I'm sitting in my room. It's getting warm. It's getting warm in my room, right? The house isn't 70 degrees anymore. Now it's like approaching 78, 79, right? And, now it feels uncomfortable. But I'm just sitting there, and I just say to my wife, I'm like, we are so spoiled that whether it's winter or whether it's summer, we have the heat on or we have the AC on, and we're keeping the temp between 68 and 72 degrees. And that any degree that we come out of that and have to sleep in it and walk around in it, like, think about how acutely uncomfortable that we get. Like, oh, this is so hot in here. It's so, and I just think it's just like funny when, to your point of like what that guy did, under medical supervision, but water, like hydration and some nutrients and like electrolytes, because that would be the main thing for me. Like, I'm not just gonna tell someone like only have water. Like, I would want you, like, are you getting your electrolytes in? Are you getting some vitamins in? And your hydration in. But if you weigh this and you want to see how you can ask your body to burn off every pound of fat that you have extra on your body, this is how to do it. I mean, you could do it other ways, but I'm saying the quickest and most straight to the point way, you have extra fat storage, and your body can like hold like an infinite amount of fat storage. It's crazy. It's not infinite, but it's like, carbs, glycogen, you hold 400 grams of that, 350 to 450 or 500 grams of that. That's, what is that? That's 2,000 calories of carbohydrate fuel you can store away. Fat storage is, I think it goes into like 100, 150,000.
Wow.
Yeah. But we're just comfortable, dude.
Fascinating stuff.
And it's just cool. It's like if you tell someone, I deal with my client. I'm trying to get him, like, I just see like what's going on. And I'm just like, you need bigger windows of you not giving your body anything. I can see by your habits of like what you're doing. It's something that I think will really benefit you and help you. And it's just crazy to think that like if you have higher body fat percentage, you have higher fat, you have this stored on you. So aren't you telling me you want to burn fat? So all I am asking you to do is not give your body calories anymore. So I know inevitably you are going to burn. I'm not telling you to not eat and not drink water for 3 days, you know what I mean, or 2 days. I'm telling you to drink water. Maybe I'll even entertain you having one protein shake with just water after you work out, right? But I still don't really want you doing that. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy that, like, if you say that, it is such a mind fuck that you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, it's 2 days. You know what I mean? Like, you have extra stored on you. I understand that you're telling me it's going to be a little uncomfortable. That's fine. But, hey, you want to change something. This is what I'm asking you to change. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it like that, but it's going to go slower the other way. Yeah.
We're in a constant fed state.
Yep.
When is the lion most dangerous?
Yeah.
When he's fasted, not when he's feasted.
Exactly.
And laying under a tree. You can't move.
Exactly.
Just to round out the fasting portion of the show, I am now on summer break because I'm a teacher, which is amazing. But I just want to run a quick fun fact. For the whole year, I did not have one bite of food at work.
Nice.
That means no breakfast, no lunch, no snack. Not one bite the entire 180 days. I feel good about that. That's a stat.
I argued with my client about that. Because he's doing everything pretty well, right? I'm seeing everything. I'm like, he's giving me A for effort. Mm-hmm. But he says, there's one thing you got to change. Stop eating at work. Stop going to their cafeteria. I don't care how great the company is and the business. I'm like, stop eating eggs from there. Stop eating oats from there. Don't eat anything from there. And it's been a little friction.
Yeah.
little
friction
bit,
point.
A little bit of friction. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm on a great run of eating. Like, you know how the Thunder just won the championship and Gilgeous-Alexander ran the table? I just had a perfect year.
One of the people I work around hasn't seen you in a little bit, and they saw you, one of the trainers that I'm around, and he said, you look outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Send my
He's
regards
like,
to him
whoa.
and his family.
He's like, he looks awesome. Yeah.
I'm just summing up like my year of eating, like I'm an athlete or just played a season. And I'm just like, there's been no cheating. Yeah. There's no cheat meals. I'm not off of the program whatsoever. Not for one moment, pretty much. It feels amazing. And most important part about that is there's no desire to want to get off it. That is gone. That has sailed. That those cravings, those hunger pains, they don't exist anymore. Which is amazing, and that's a big part of this food journey. We talked about the emotional relationship, but hunger pains. Like
I think it's good to say what you just said, just because I'm always playing devil's advocate, and I have to be, because when I'm working with people, some people are just not mentally ready to do what we're trying to do. That feeling that you feel in the healthy way, people feel when they're deep off the wagon.
Sure.
They're like, it's that same feeling that you have, that stress of like, I can't imagine doing that.
It's the other end
they
of that
feel
spectrum.
the other end of the spectrum. It's just like, I'm starting from scratch. I gotta start this. It's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And that's that's the discomfort you feel now. That all that stuff that because you just feel how you're comfortable with how you feel right now. You're just like happy with how you feel. You're content. You're not going back the other way.
Never.
They feel that same thing on the complete other end of the diving board. Yeah.
It's really an amazing thing to not have these type of cravings anymore, because that's really what held me back forever. It's like you have a good 5 days, but the cravings are still there for wanting to have that one cheat meal. You do that 1-3 times a week, then you're just breaking even. You're never going to break through and make those gains.
Yeah.
So it's about the momentum. Like my dad's going through it right now. He just lost 15 pounds. He's starting to dial in to these ingredients that we've been talking about,
Poor Phil.
And I'm
Down
like
15?
down 15. So
That's coach. Coach
that's the real Coach D.
Yeah, that's coach.
So for anybody else listening who's on that journey, who's finding it challenging, like just eat clean, and all of these hunger pains go away. And you just don't desire to want to, put something that's not nutrient dense in your body. And that's the diet we're on. Like, we're not on the carnivore, animal based, or vegan. We're on the nutrient dense diet. Like, we shouldn't eliminate veggies. We shouldn't eliminate meats. Why would we want to eliminate these things that are, high quality sources of nutrition?
I just think you're trying to harness, and there's a lot of studies on variety. And I just think we look at that variety and usually only like one way, which is like, I eat asparagus, I eat Brussels sprouts, I eat radish, right? I just think that variety matters in every way that you eat. And I just think that's, the key to keeping your body the same thing that you feel that when you fast for 3 days, you're creating this, sensitivity to when you like eat again. So I think when you add a variety of constantly how you're eating, different protein, red meat, chicken, fish. Maybe I'm not going to have a few of those for like 2 or 3 days. I'm going to have some eggs. Maybe I'm not going to have a few of those. Maybe I am just going to, for 2 or 3 days, I want pea protein instead. I want protein coming from almonds and walnuts and pistachios. I just think the more that we constantly go from, keeping the variety in there, I just think that you're like reassuring that you're getting every different type of nutrient, that if you were only eating in this one way, you're most likely getting only these 7 nutrients out of the 10.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think that's why the variety is important. Sure. And it mixes things up, and
Yeah. I think you got to find a balance there with finding a formula that works for you. Like I know I've talked about, I pretty much eat the same foods every day. However, my variety is with fruit and veggies. So yesterday I had papaya. Today I may have cantaloupe.
Yep.
Yesterday I had asparagus. Today I might have peas. Also trying to switch up my protein and get some more fish in there. My wife has some fish defrosted. But I'm just not looking forward to salmon night. Why is that with fish? Like we know how nutrient dense and high omega-3s, it doesn't fill me up, and I don't get excited for it, but I am going to eat it. And
yeah, I still have an issue with fish. I just don't like the way that I feel having a strip steak or like a good piece of chicken, or I don't know. It just doesn't satisfy me. I do think everyone's different. I think we do as humans crave and connect more with different proteins. I really do. To me, my issue with it is like, I don't like, if I really want to know where my food comes from, I want to know. You can't tell me and point at in the ocean where the fish came that you got. And that bothers me. Yeah. I just don't know where. And like, I know the ocean's biggest thing here, and there's a bunch of clean water, but like, it's also the most constantly polluted thing. So that makes me nervous to worry about, think about, especially if you're getting wild. And then if you're getting farm raised, just horrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I've had meals with fish or seafood where it was prepared in a way that I really, really liked. And I'm like, wow, I could actually eat that every night. Yeah. So I think that's kind of one of the issues, is like the way that normally I make salmon, I'm kind of just like adding to the fatty taste of it by putting butter and garlic on top of the salmon and just like baking it, even if I, would sear it. But I've had like a whitefish recently, last summer, and it was just salt and lemon. That was it. Salt, pepper, and lemon.
Yeah.
And they put it in a wood-fired oven.
Nice.
So it just had like that smoke flavor to it. Now that I ate the fish, there was not an ounce of meat left on the entire fish. All the bones were just, there.
Yeah.
That I could eat all the time.
Claudio, we're on a time limit here, but we got 2-minute countdown here. 2-minute warning.
2 minute.
I got to everything I wanted to get to. I had a list.
2 minute drill.
2-minute drill. Nico tried feeding me ice cream the other day. We got a pink ice cream. Definitely artificial colorings in there.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, try some. So I let him I let him feed me, and then I spit it back out on the napkin.
Oh my God.
My wife got a kick out of that one. I just, I didn't want to ingest those artificial flavorings and colorings. That's okay, right?
Yeah.
I'm standing on business there right in front of Nico. He's got to know where I stand.
It's not clocking the Nico yet.
It's not clocking. Organic.
What was it?
It was cotton candy ice cream.
Cotton candy.
From Baskin Robbins.
I was going to say Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hear pink ice cream, I immediately think cotton candy from Baskin Robbins. That's the first thing I think of. That's crazy.
So this is fun doing this with you. Thank you for coming here. Hopefully we can continue with season 2 this summer. Can you commit?
Yes.
Okay, great. We love you guys. Stay dialed in.
Sweet.
Thank you for listening to the Dialed In podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We want to hear from you and help you even more. So please reach out and connect with us at the dialedinpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on one of our social media accounts. And remember to stay dialed in and choose to have the most amazing rest of your day.